Similarly, Iqbal in this verse says, तू ही नादां चंद कलियों पे कनात कर गया। तुम ही इतने कम समझ आदमी हो कि पूरे बाग में आए हो, इतने फूल हैं हर तरफ हर तरह के, कुछ कलियां तूने उठाई और समझ रहा है कि तूने काफी ले लिया। So Iqbal basically is saying that you are ignorant person, not realizing that you are in this world with so much that you could achieve, so much that is there for you from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that you have really felt content just taking a few petals, few little flowers. And if you were to know that, if you were to realize this particular universe, this particular garden where you are in, there was a remedy for you're having very little pocket. You could have been given a much bigger container, much bigger utensil to take things away from here. In other words, we have to realize that there is a whole lot more that is potential within us that we can really nurture, grow, and benefit ourselves and others around us by really manifesting ourselves fully in this universe. Most of us come here, do not think much about ourselves, and we just live lives in very meager way, in very small way, not realizing that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created us as the best of creations, given us so much potential that if we were to realize and take full advantage of all of that, then we would have really enjoyed this life much better, be much more comfortable with ourselves, and we would have then served the purpose of our being here, which is to be able to help others that are around you. And you can help others around you only when you are comfortable yourself and you have that ability. The other example I give you is that of Khidr al-Islam and Moses. We have read that in Al-Quran, that story, where Moses one day was thinking, oh Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, is anybody in this world right now that is much more closer to you, knows much more than me. He was just thinking about him, all of this, realizing that he was the prophet at the time and that probably he's the closest to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The thought came to him, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guided him to go meet this person, which was Khidr al-Islam. And then they were supposed to meet at a particular point at the river. And I don't want to go to the detail of the story, but Khidr al-Islam did certain things that for me and you would look very wrong or improper. Because first thing he did was broke the boat of those people that were those orphans. Then the next thing he did was try to rectify a wall in the house of a person or a family that actually had refused to give them water or give them food to eat. They were not cooperative and they wanted them to go away, and then they fixed their wall. And the third thing they did was they saw a young fellow, age looks like less than adult age, maybe 8-10 years old, and Khidr al-Islam killed him. And at that time Moses was right with him, and it obviously looked something that was wrong. All those three things that appeared wrong to our beloved prophet Moses were actually done by Khidr al-Islam by permission of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, with the reasons that are told to us were so profound that most of us, when we see things like that, we come to conclusions and start to walk away. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is fully in charge of this world, in this universe, and He runs it the way with the wisdom that many of us may not realize at the time. I say this because things do happen to us, and many people who have very shallow faith start to say, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, why does He allow things to happen like that, like what is going on in Palestine now? Looks very difficult to watch, And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is watching all of this. Things are running, things are happening. We may not understand the wisdom of all of this today, but who knows few years from now how things will open up, how things will manifest. Whenever a new building is built, one has to really destroy the foundations of the old building. Rumi says that in his poetry, that whenever you want to build a new building, the old building's foundations have to be destroyed. Who knows what is being destroyed now, what new building will come up in a few years from now. Those of us who will live to see that might actually be able to see. But at this time, we should be thankful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and always keep our faith straight and realize that we can make dua to Him and let Him do what is best for us. It may be difficult to watch, it may be hard to go through, and yet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows best why things are happening the way they are happening. So faith is the most important thing. And we, like I said in the beginning, the message that I'm trying to portray is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one that has created us for a purpose. We should try to find that purpose for which we were created and try to live to our full potential so that we can be true to our being and then live up to our full potential. There is that possibility that we can do things that are unimaginable by most people. We cannot necessarily say that human beings are limited in what they can do. A lot is possible that humans can do,